Hello friends, today we will be seeing the various data types that are in Python. So basically there are five types of data types in Python, namely numbers, strings, lists, tuples, dictionary. Before getting into the details of each of them, let us first know what exactly are positional mappings in Python. As you can see here, I have written three variables on the left hand side, and accordingly there are three values on the right hand side. So these are comma separated values. So what this indicates is the first value 34 will be stored in X, the second value, which is a string, that will be stored in Y, and this value, which is the floating point value, will be stored in Z. Now if I execute this file, what happens is hello will be printed. That resembles that each of those values were stored in X, Y and Z separately. This is what is called positional mapping, or in other words, mapping of multiple values to multiple variables in a single statement. Instead of writing 3-4 different statements, you can simply write this statement. This is what is called positional mapping. Next, moving on to zero referenced memory location. Say for instance we have this variable and we have stored 34 in it. A is 34, and now I have assigned a new value to A, that is 56. What actually happens is that 34 is not deleted from the memory. 56 is overwritten on 34. That 34 is like it goes into the garbage collection. So for instance, if I run this, but obvious the value of A would be 56 because I have overwritten it. Where is this 34 being will be used? Say for instance, if I in the immediate cell, in the next cell, I write B equals to 34. That 34, instead of being created newly, will be fetched from the garbage. So that is what is written here. So if I wish to assign Z as 34, this is zero reference location because it is already present in the garbage collection, right? So this is zero reference location will be used instead of creating a new memory location with value 34. Next, moving on, again this is multiple assignments. PQR will be assigned hello, space and world. So when I print those, hello, space, world would be printed. Now this is different. P equals to Q equals to R equals to hello world. That means P will be hello world, Q will be hello world, R will be hello world. Next, moving on, as it's written here, strings are immutable. Now what does immutable mean? Immutable means once you have created them, they won't change unless you overwrite them. Say for instance, you have a string like the string which is written here. Great. If I need to change a particular value into it, that won't happen. If I need to change, I need to change the entire string. That is why strings are immutable. While on the other hand, lists are mutable. Now what is mutable? You can change a particular value present at a particular location. So let us get into this. I have assigned grade to ms1, and when I print, grade should be printed. Now ms1 of 0, this is indexing. Indexing starts from 0, so 0th element would be G. G is printed. Similarly, when I try to assign J to ms1, this is what here I am trying to change the string, right? Here I am trying to change the second index, that is R in our case. I am trying to replace R with J. Does it happen? It's an error. The error says string object does not support item assignment. This is the meaning of strings are immutable. You can't change a string. You can overwrite it. You can all over create a new string, but once a string is created, you cannot change it. So this is the error, right? Next, moving on to lists, as the name resembles, it is a list of items. It's an ordered container, and it is a heterogeneous container. Now why do we say it is an heterogeneous? We'll see it in the next line. Now if you see this, I have created a list. List always starts with a square bracket, right? So as you see, the first element is a string, the second, third, fourth, fifth elements are integers, and then again you have strings. This is what is known as an heterogeneous container. It can contain multiple data types. A list can contain multiple data types. That is why we say that it is a heterogeneous container. Now when I execute it, so a list ls is created. Now what am I doing here? I need to check the data type of each of the element in list. So what I did, I created a for loop saying for I in ls, each and every element will be looped through. What am I doing? I am printing the type of I. I am printing the type of I. And once all those are printed, finally I am writing like print, say done. So everything is done. So when I am executing this, so the first element, what is the type? Data type, that is string. The second, third, fourth, fifth are integers, and all the last three are strings. And finally when I have written print done, so done has been printed. So this is how lists work. Next, moving on to tuples. They are same as lists. There are few differences. As list starts with a square bracket, tuple starts with a round bracket. These are similar to lists. The only difference is it is immutable. Again, tuples are immutable. Lists are mutable. So like before getting into tuples, let us see whether it is really immutable or not. Rather, lists are mutable or not. So what is ls of 0? Ls of 0, let's print ls of 0. This is great. Now what I want to change this ls of 0. What I will do is, I will simply assign some value to ls of 0. Say instead of great, I have assigned some value hello, or for that matter you can assign an integer or float value also. Let us assign a float value to it, and after assigning it I will print ls. What happened? The first value, which was great, is now removed and 3.4 is added to the list. This is what is said, that is why the reason is lists are mutable. You can change the list after they are created as well. So lists are mutable, while on the other hand the major difference between a list and a tuple is the tuples are immutable. That means once a tuple is created, you cannot change it. So here we are creating a tuple with three values, 1, 4 and high, and we are typing the type of the tuple, and it's a tuple, right? So when I'm getting, and I try to get the value of the tuple for the index 0, I'll get 1. But if I try to assign it some value, say 2, it should throw an error. The error says that tuple object does not support item assignment. That means it is same as the strings. Once a string is created, it is immutable. On the same page, once the tuple is created, those are immutable. Moving on, the next thing is dictionary. Now dictionary is it presents the relationship between keys and values. So always a dictionary starts off with a curly brace. To get a gist of it, list starts with the square bracket, tuple starts with the round bracket, and dictionary starts with the curly braces. And each element in a dictionary has a key and a value, which are separated with a colon. Each key value pair is separated with a comma. So here name is the key, Python is the value, ID is the key, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the value. Similarly, city is the key, Delhi is the value, and 91 is the key, India is the value. Now if I execute it and print it, so this is how it gets printed. Key value pairs are being printed. Now if I know the key, say I know the key, there is a key say named 91, so I simply write dic1 of 91, it should give me the value of that key. Similarly, instead of 91, I try to write say names. Although I have a key name as name, I have written names, so it should throw me an error saying there is no key. Names is not defined, but name is there. So once I write name, N-A-M-E, sorry, I need to write it in single quotes. Yeah. So yes, if it is a string, you have to write it in single quotes. If it's an integer, you need not write any quote. In fact, you need not write any quotes for integers. So for string values, you need to write it in a single quote. So this is it for today. Here today you have seen all these data types which are present in Python, which are very much important going ahead, especially lists, tuples and dictionaries. These will be dealt with majorly for the remaining of the course. Thanks for watching.